ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नस्तत्त्वाय स्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 12, Verse 9. Tvam Brahma Kechid Avayantyuta Dharmameke Eke Param Satasato Purusham Paresham Anye Vayanti Nava Shakti Yutam Param Tvam Kechin Mahapurusham Avyayam Atmatantram. Those who are known as impersonalist Vedantis regard you as the impersonal Brahman. Others, known as the Mimamsaka followers, regard you as religion. The Sankhya philosophers regard you as the transcendental person who is beyond Prakriti and Purusha and who is the controller of even the demigods. The followers of the codes of devotional service, known as Pancharatras, regard you as being endowed with 9 different potencies. And the Patanjala philosophers, the followers of Patanjali Muni, regard you as the supreme independent personality of Godhead who has no equal or superior. So this shows that the same person, but he is seen differently by different schools of knowledge or schools of philosophy. So each of them have, Prabhupada therefore says that it is all incomplete understanding of the complete whole. Incomplete understanding. Everybody has their own limited understanding. But like Krishna says, Prabhupada says in his lecture, saying that if somebody wants to be an atheist, even for that, Krishna gives sufficient intelligence so that they can become atheists. So, based on the desire of individuals, they get stuck at different levels of their journey, and then, and they regard the Supreme Lord impartially in different forms, different aspects. So that is being described here anyway. There isn't more explanation here of what this actually means, so we won't discuss further. नाहं परायुर्ऋषयो न मरीचिमुख्या जानन्ति यद्विरचितं खलु सत्त्वसर्गाः यन्मायया मुषितचेतस ईश दैत्या मर्त्यादयः किमुत शश्वतभद्रवृत्ताः. O my Lord, I, who am considered to be the best of the demigods, and Lord Brahma and the great rishis headed by Marichi, are born of the mode of goodness. Nonetheless, we are bewildered by your illusory energy and cannot understand what this creation is. See, even great demigods cannot understand what the creation is. Aside from us, what is to be said of others, like the demons and human beings, who are in the base modes of Rajoguna and Tamoguna? How will they know you? So even great personalities like Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, demigods, so they are, though they are born of mode of goodness. So from this we can understand it's not that Brahma he's born in mode of passion. He's born in mode of goodness, but he demonstrates mode of passion, or yeah, he is the incarnation of mode of passion. So he uses that for his creation. So we should not think that all of them are in mode of passion or ignorance like that. So they're all born in mode of goodness. Nonetheless, everybody is bewildered by Krishna's Maya Shakti, and they cannot understand what the creation is. So we are fortunate that we are able to understand some part of creation to whatever extent we are able to understand by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Otherwise, these things are so difficult to understand. We may end up reading Sanskrit and then interpret it in a completely wrong way. So it's just our fortune. Aside from us, what is to be said of others like demons and human beings who are in the modes of Rajoguna and Tamoguna? So those in the modes of Rajoguna and Tamoguna cannot understand the Lord. If somebody has to understand the Lord, they have to come to at least Shuddha Sattva and then Shuddha Sattva. But factually speaking, even those who are situated in the more material mode of goodness cannot understand the position of the Supreme Lord. What then is to be said of those who are situated in Rajoguna and Tamoguna? How can we imagine the Supreme Person of Godhead? There are so many philosophers trying to understand the absolute truth. But since they are situated in the base qualities of material nature, which means Rajoguna and Tamoguna, and are addicted to so many bad habits like drinking, meat eating, illicit sex, and gambling, how can they conceive of the Supreme Person of Godhead? So Rajoguna, Tamoguna people are like disqualified literally, like because of their bad habits and the way they live life. Even Satvaguna people cannot fully understand, right? They can understand partially. So for Tamoguna, Rajoguna people, it is impossible. For the present day, the Pancharatriki Vidhi, as enunciated by Narada Muni, is the only hope. Srila Rupa Goswami therefore has quoted the following verse from Brahma Yamala. श्रुति स्मृति पुराणादि पंचरात्र विधिम बिना ऐकांतिकी हरेर भक्तिर उत्पात एव कल्पते. Devotional service of the Lord that ignores the authorized Vedic literatures like the Upanishads, Puranas, and Narada Pancharatra is simply an unnecessary disturbance in society. Meaning, some people decide their own path of devotion. But if it ignores Vedic literatures, then it is simply unnecessary disturbance because it will just disturb people, push them in the wrong direction. Those who are very advanced in knowledge and are situated in the mode of goodness follow the Vedic instructions of the Shruti and Smriti and other religious scriptures, including the Pancharatriki Vidhi. Without understanding the Supreme Person of Godhead in this way, one only creates a disturbance. See, which is why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Janma Karma Cha Me Divyam Evam Veti Tattvataha. So it's actually not very easy to understand Krishna in truth. For us, we feel that what is there? Prabhupada has so clearly explained. And we understand Krishna. Yeah, we understand Krishna definitely more fully than what all these other schools of thoughts can understand. So we can imagine how fortunate we are. We are actually able to understand Krishna as a supreme person of Godhead, Sarvakarana Karanam, the Bhakta, his Bhakta Vatsala. We understand so many aspects of Krishna. It is impossible to understand everything about Krishna. But whatever we understand through disciplic succession, that much is good. At least it's like, instead of having a completely incomplete understanding, it's a partial understanding of the complete whole. Meaning, maybe 10 aspects are there, we understood 2 aspects, but we understood 2 aspects fully. While the others, they can't even understand that much, right? Because they're all in their own world. Without understanding the Supreme Person of Godhead in this way, one only creates a disturbance, right? Now, all these different schools of thoughts, they create disturbance. Some say, no, it's only Brahman only, everything. No, they're simply creating a disturbance. So Shastra is saying, Krishna is himself saying, I'm the Supreme Lord. Then, one school of thought says, no, Krishna is not the Supreme Lord. Brahman is Supreme. So it's a disturbance. Simply distracts people. In this age of Kali, so many gurus have sprung up, and because they do not refer to the Shruti, Smriti, Purana, Adi, Pancharatrika, Vidhi, they are creating a great disturbance in the world in regard to understanding the absolute truth. However, those who follow the Pancharatriki Vidhi under the guidance of a proper meaning are the authorized parampara, spiritual master can understand the absolute truth. It is said, Pancharatrasya Krishnasya Vaktatu Bhagavan Swayam. The Pancharatra system is spoken by the Supreme Person of Godhead, just like Bhagavad Gita. Vasudeva Sharana Vidur Anjasaiva. The truth can be understood only by one who has taken shelter of the lotus feet of Vasudeva. Bhunam Janmanam Ante. So after many, many births, one in knowledge actually surrenders to Krishna. Now, this surrender is a very difficult business, right? People come to Krishna consciousness, but it's not easy to surrender. Surrender means completely depending on Krishna in all situations, right? Anukulyasya sankalpa pratikulyasya varjanam rakshishati iti vishvaso bhoktrutve varnam tata atmanikshepa karpanya. Now, sometimes the Lord is very merciful to his sincere devotees, and for those who have not fully surrendered to Krishna, he provides opportunities for them to fully surrender. And then when we surrender, then we can become this Sudurlabha Jiva. Mahatma. We can become this Sudurlabha Mahatma. This Mahatma who is very, very rare to get. So Krishna gives all of us opportunities. So yesterday, a few of us were discussing about our ISKCON Ulima temple project, and then I was just telling everybody, saying that, see, this is Krishna is giving us an opportunity to now to completely surrender and depend on Him and put everything on the table, right? If we are calculative, saying that no, no, if I give, what will happen to me? Then we just lost the opportunity to surrender. So we should understand that all this is only for when we look at our life and what Krishna does in our life from Shastric perspective, we can see that he is only helping us to surrender more and more. Otherwise, we will only keep thinking about our own life, our own future. But if we think for Krishna, yesterday we were discussing, sorry, 9.27. Yat karoshi yadashnas. In Prabhupada writes, work for Krishna. Work for Krishna. Right? So, and these are opportunities for us to increase our surrender. And we do some material calculations. What if we, in English, we call this what if analysis in management terminology. What if analysis, meaning what if this happens? What if that happens? Yes, Prabhupada also says, no, upayam chintayat pragno, apayam cha chintayat, right? Chanakya Pandit says. One who thinks about upaya also thinks about apaya. Of course, we have to be careful. We have to see what needs to be done, etc. But um, we should not be afraid. Meaning, we should not think that okay, if we do this, what will happen? Mm. So that is the opportunity to surrender, right? And every time Krishna pushes us more. Especially if we are sincere, then Krishna will push us on the path of surrender till we come to complete surrender, where we don't have even iota, even an inch of attachment to anything material. Mm. Prabhupada says even if one has little attachment to anything of this material world, he can't go back to Krishna. So that little attachment could be me, my own body, then my family, my wealth, my possession, my this, my that. So if we have even a slight attachment towards this, we can't go back to Krishna. And Krishna gives that rare opportunity to some fortunate, sincere souls to come out of all this attachment. And we should take it with both hands. But we see still devotees are very, very calculative about how much they want to do for Krishna. It's unfortunate. It's just that it's a lower stage of surrender to Krishna. That's all. And those who are fully surrendered, they don't mind. They don't worry, saying, "Oh, what is going to happen about my future?" Krishna is there. Krishna will take it. Mm. Actually, on one platform, if you look at it, there is nothing like being overly transcendental. Meaning, there is nothing like, okay, this is too much to do for Krishna. This is too much. Maybe this much we should do. That's enough. Many devotees sometimes talk about be practical about your life. Now, what does actually this practical mean? Be practical about life means for some time forget that Krishna is there. That is what the meaning of be practical about life. Be practical about life means that you think using your brain, you know, what is it? Right? But then surrender means depending on Krishna. And children depend on Krishna. They don't use their intelligence to say, no, 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 so much I can't surrender. I will only surrender so much. So actually, there is, if suppose if everybody had to be practical about their life, then our acharyas wouldn't have done the extraordinary work they did. Prabhupada was practical about his life, saying that, oh, at 70 years, who goes out? Let me be practical. Maybe I will go around here, there, somewhere and try preaching in comfort situation. No, but Prabhupada did not do that. Mm. Because actually, devotees who are surrendered don't think about practicality because all that practicality is in Krishna's hands. They have full faith in Krishna. Krishna will make it practical. Krishna will do the needful. So this is an opportunity for us to surrender, not to run away. Right? So we should do go out of comfort zone for Krishna. I keep repeating it. But still, devotees are very, very, very hesitant. And I feel so uh, bad for them that they have, they can do. It's not going to, disturb their life if they go a little bit, stretch a little bit more for Krishna. But somehow they don't want to do. So then we are just giving up that opportunity. That's all. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janaiti Asho Vairagyam Ghanam Cha Yad Ahitukam. By rendering devotional service unto the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, one immediately acquires causeless knowledge and detachment from the world. And we have to get this detachment. If we don't get this detachment, then it's tough. And this detachment will happen only when we develop attachment to Krishna. Therefore, Vasudeva, Bhagavan Sri Krishna personally teaches Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. Again, surrender to me, I will take care. Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati. And who can understand this? What Krishna is saying, Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. Who can understand? Only devotees can understand. Only devotees can understand. Because they have faith in Krishna. The Supreme Person of Godhead is not properly understood even by Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma. Now, you might ask, we say Lord Shiva is the, Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu. Why can't he understand? Or Brahma is such a great devotee, why can't he understand? Now, this is just their role that they are playing. In that they have to accept material qualities, and to the extent they accept those material qualities, they are not able to understand Krishna. But as Vaishnavas, they are able to understand Krishna. It's like Achintya, we can't understand this. But it's they are limited not by their devotion but by their service to Krishna. By Krishna's desire, they don't understand fully. It's like that. It's very difficult to understand. But they are great Vaishnavas. If they can't understand, how can we understand? The only qualification that we can understand is that we don't take up such big responsibilities in Krishna's creation. Meaning, if you have to accept anything in connection with the material modes, then it will bewilder us by design. Like now Shiva is going to get bewildered, right? So it will bewilder us by design. So we will be limited. We will be limited. But if we just have desire for just pure devotion without wanting anya abhilashita shunyam, then we can understand Krishna. Maya asakta mana bharta yogam yunjan madashrayah asam samagram mam yathagnasya tatshunu. Maya asakta mana. This is the most important thing. Asakta mana. We all have mana, but we have bhautika asakta mana. Our mind is attracted to bhautika, but we should have Krishna asakta mana. Maya asakta mana, Krishna is saying. Our mind should get asakta, should get attached to Krishna. And yogam yunjan madashraya. Those of you who are doing yoga under my protection. Asamshayam samagram mam. Yathagnasya. He can understand samagram. He can understand everything about me. How that can be done, I will explain. Krishna is saying, and he'll explain ninth chapter. He'll explain process of pure devotion. But this is the important part. Asakta mana. We should understand that we should become attached to Krishna. Becoming attached to anything else is not going to help us. Somebody yesterday was asking in a class, how can we become attached to Krishna? We can become attached to Krishna simply by hearing about Krishna, because Krishna, by definition, is attractive. He attracts everybody by his existence. By being Krishna, he attracts everybody. So it's not difficult to get attracted. It's just that we don't want to get attracted. So weekend means I keep talking to so many devotees. So many realizations come. So one devotee was discussing, saying, that okay, somebody is regularly hearing, but they're not able to change their ways of life, even slightly. And then the devotee was asking, Prabhu, why is this? If somebody is doing regular hearing, reading, chanting, why is it that they are not able to bring about change in their life? Why is it that they are not able to follow instructions? Anybody wants to try answer this question? Why is it that devotees who hear what needs to be done, what is correct, what is not correct, why is it that they are not able to practice, put those things into practice in their life?
Not fully surrendered to
Not fully surrendered, okay.
desire, Prabhu.
Desire, okay. Desire, okay. Okay, but these are a little bit, okay. Desire is a little bit gross, okay, meaning too far away. So assume, say it's not desire in the sense, okay, they're not materially desirous in that sense. Okay.
Uh,
Not
inten-
surrender. Ah,
intentive chanting is the main.
okay, inattentive chanting, okay.
More attachment to other things. Free will.
Attachment to other things,
Free
okay.
will, Prabhu.
Okay. See, one thing you think about this, what came to my mind, I'm just sharing.
False ego,
They,
Prabhu.
huh?
False ego
False ego.
maybe.
Yeah, false ego. Okay, but how does false ego manifest in this? In what way does it manifest? Actually, this is a very, very deep thing. Just think about this. Devotees actually don't want to change. This is the problem. Like when they hear in class, then they think that okay, yes, 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 it is fine. But when they're faced with the situation, they don't have the strength to apply and they don't want to apply. They feel that I'm entitled for this. So let me give you an example. Suppose say somebody is troubling a devotee. Okay. Now, now and this happens to everybody, right? All of us have some or the other entities in our life who trouble us. They could be in the dress of devotees, dress of non-devotees, whatever it is. Now, what happens is when we are faced with situations with such people, even though theoretically we know, saying that Trinadapi Sunichena, I'm nobody, okay, if somebody disrespects me, it's okay, all these things theoretically no, we know, but when it comes to practice, we come to this platform of this isn't fair, this is not fair, meaning immediately we forgot all the theory and we fell back, we fall back to our material way. And that material way is not so much about desire, but saying this is not right. So what that person is doing now is not right. So I will behave like this towards him. But what that person is doing is not right. But what I am doing, is it right? That we don't tend to think. Which means that actually we don't want to change. We are just giving reasons. We are pointing finger at the other person and saying they are like that, so I am like this. Which is low class tit for tat at mentality of the material world. Devotee should not be like that. And I see that time and again, no, this person did this, this person did this, this person did this, so I'm going to be like this, I'm going to be like this, I'm going to speak like this. But then that means that what is the difference between us and that person? No difference. So internally, deep within, we don't want to change. We find happiness in being whatever we are. We find happiness. We find happiness by telling that someone is wrong. So like this, we actually don't want to change. We actually don't want to change. If our only desire is to please Krishna, then we will always, irrespective of right or wrong, whatever, we will always understand what Krishna wants in this situation and try to do accordingly. But we always think right and wrong. I mean, even I face this situation all the time at home, especially with my mother. I face this situation. She does something which is not Krishna conscious, and then I get upset about it. And then again, I have to remind myself saying that this is all that she can do. This is all the devotion she can do. Right now, if I'm simply getting angry at her, who is at loss? Who is at loss? Is she at loss or am I at loss? I am at loss because she's not going to lose anything because she just doesn't even know why I'm getting upset or whatever is the reason for me being upset. Because she is limited to whatever understanding she has, right? And that's all she can understand. So by becoming upset about other people, then we just spoil our own Krishna consciousness. That person might be already low at a lower platform in devotion, but by react by getting into situations with another person who is lower than us in devotional service, we also become lower. So instead of just saying no, 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 this is wrong, what they're doing is wrong, so I have to tell them I am the right person. I. In that way, false ego manifests in the form of right and wrong. Which is why Krishna in Bhagavatam says that be a guest in your house. Hmm. Be a guest in the house meaning don't take it so, don't be too attached. Guest is not too attached, right? He comes to somebody's house, he's okay. I mean, okay, some discrepancies, differences, okay, it's fine. He's not going to take it too seriously. So it's very important. Actually, we don't want to change. Actually, we are happy being stuck where we are. So then asakta mana is there. Our mind is attached to these things. So instead of being Krishna consciousness, we become some person consciousness. Like I can become my mother conscious, but I can't become Krishna conscious. Like that, there'll be people in your life. Uh, uh, like I was telling Shashank Prabhu and Ashwini Mataji, their daughter, Narayani. She's so, I mean, she's really, I mean, you have no words to describe her. She's a devotee. And by her nature, she just, by what she is, she attracts so many devotees. So I was saying that, see, now instead of becoming Krishna Sakta, they're all become Narayani Sakta. But it is okay because Narayani is a devotee. But if we are going to become attached to something or someone which is not a devotee, whether good or bad, then we are gone. We, of course, as we make progress in devotional service, we will not become attracted to Virat Kohli or some total materialist, right? It's good to be attracted by devotees, and it's good not to be distracted by non-devotees or devotees at a lower platform. Don't spoil your consciousness by thinking too much about others who are not devotees or who are not at the level of devotion that you are. Because that means that to think about that person, I have to go lower. I have to lower myself in my devotion to be able to think about that person at that person's level. Isn't it? Is it okay? This is some complex thing. Because I had this realization over the weekend talking to devotees. So when this asaktamana, which is why I thought of explaining. Is this okay? Is it clear? Is it abstract? Obviously, I mean, I'm not taking people and situations, but if it is abstract, I can try to make it a little bit more clearer.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah,
Prabhu, like what we heard and what you're saying is absolutely right. But when practically it comes, I mean, everybody is very different in how he can handle the situation.
correct.
Somebody's reaction is too fast. Somebody does absorb like like a blotting paper till it, like, and then sometimes it's the last straw which breaks the camel's back.
Yeah.
I mean, I go through this. I mean, I've seen this every day with my trouble. I can see it like how much he can absorb. And many times I react to him, react to it. When I overhear things, and I'll say, I'll call up and I'll talk. Then he says, no, it's not your thing. He says,
Right.
leave it. So, Prabhu,
Yeah.
it's very nice when you speak it and like take it, don't pull down. And even otherwise, sometimes you don't want to react. No, I'll just give you an instance. Sometimes you're chanting. You're not even thinking about that person. He or she is not even concerned in your life. But once upon a time, you must have done something. And just that thought, your mind is so fickle and the intelligence also goes there. The whole day goes, Krishna conscious chala gaya, chanting chala gaya, chinta shuru ho gaya us person.
Correct.
How do you handle it? Even
Yeah.
though you want to handle it, you just can't handle it.
Okay.
And I'm talking about myself.
Yeah.
With due respect to everybody,
Yes. Yes.
it's so
Absolutely.
easy. It's so easy saying mat karo, mat ke karo, Krishna conscious mein karo. I
Yeah.
mean, I have not reached the stage where I'm 24 hours in Krishna consciousness. I
Right.
still have my eye and mind. How do
Right.
I? What do I
Yeah.
do? What
Okay.
do I do?
What? Okay. Anybody has any thoughts? Anybody has any thoughts? Samudra Manthan is always, practical, practical situations, difficult situations. So she's saying yes, it is difficult. But what? How can we approach this? And it is a real thing for everybody. It's a real thing, right? It's not some theoretical stuff. And at the same time, if all of this, if we simply consider everything as theoretical, then there's nothing practical. Meaning, then there's nothing for us to learn. Then we can just remain as we are right now, right? So, how do we think about this? So, at least the one thing that comes to my mind, at least that's how I try to deal with. One is that my reaction, first thing I think is whether my reaction is pulling my devotion down. For example, if I'm doing Jiva Himsa, meaning I'm speaking and hurting somebody and I'm doing Jiva Himsa, then Jiva Himsa will not help me make progress. So this is the first thing that comes to my mind. And okay, just taking a step back. For me, what one thing is very clear for me in my life is that I want to achieve perfection. That is clear. Whether how far I am, how near I am, that is different. That's the practical aspect. That's Krishna's mercy. But from a desire perspective, I am clear saying that I want to achieve perfection. I don't want to come back again here as a karmi, right? So that is always in the background, right? So and any situation I'm dealing with, I only think about this, saying that no, I've been struggling so much to make inch progress. Now by engaging this way with this person or this situation, am I going to go down? And I see that actually, every time I get into this kind of, if I'm I become upset about something which is not fully spiritual, then I realize, yes, my consciousness is gone. And then again next day when I'm chanting, I'm like, oh, I start repenting, saying that, oh my God, I mean, whole day wasted. So Krishna, please give me mercy. I don't want to be doing this. And I keep begging, that's all. What can we do? But we should have that desire, saying that I don't want to be like this. See, the point I'm trying to make is, let's not be satisfied by being like that, being on a lower platform. At least we should not be satisfied. We might not have made progress. None of us have made progress that we can just like just forget about things, right? Or people. But at least we should feel that, Krishna, no, I don't want this, I don't like this. This is one thing that comes to my mind. I look at myself being nasty sometimes, and I feel I don't like this. I don't like seeing myself like this, because Krishna doesn't like, Guru Maharaj doesn't like, Prabhupada doesn't like. So I don't want to be like this. And I want to achieve perfection. These two things drive me, heavily pushes me to, at least, try. It's not that 100% of the times I succeed, but at least I'm succeeding more than what I was able to before. That's all. That's the satisfaction for now. But just keep begging so that we can move on. And of course, then there are some other devotees who are like so, yeah, unlike a few of us who are not as fortunate. They don't really, nothing really affects them so much, right? So they are fortunate that way. But people like me, I mean, we have to really fight our nature, strong nature. So it can be difficult, but we can't give it up. That's the point. It's not about how advanced we are, but we can't just give it up. We will just keep trying. And see, the final motivation for me is, you know, okay, final exam is going to come whenever it's going to come. I don't want to fail. I don't want to fail my final exam. I want to be able to think about Krishna, and I don't want to be think about some nonsense, something which is just like, I just lost the opportunity to go to Krishna. I don't want that. I don't want to see myself in that situation. So I push myself, saying, try. It's okay. It's worth it. It's worth the effort, because we're going to take you to Krishna. It is difficult. I don't say that it is easy. Many of these things are not, and most of these things are not easy, especially for those who are stuck. We are stuck, right? So it doesn't seem to be easy at all, but no option. Keep praying, keep trying, keep praying, keep trying. Krishna will say, Arey Baba, how much is he trying? Okay, let me give some mercy. So if we are sincerely trying, then we will overcome all these anarthas. But the point I'm trying to make is we should not be comfortable, or we should not feel, no, 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 I am entitled to speak bad about this person because this person is bad. That is not good. We are willingly throwing ourselves down. It's better than, instead of doing that, it's better we feel, we might break down ourselves. Actually, it's much better than, instead of breaking down, we become aggressive and, we talk bad about somebody else. That's very low class. It's okay. We just break down. Yes, it's fine. Because that breakdown, the tears coming from our eyes actually will make us more, will make us think, saying that, whether what should I do, how should I act, and we will possibly do whatever based on Guru Sadhu Shastra. But if we get upset, if you're angry, if we react to situations, then we are going to end up doing mistakes. Not going to make us dear to Krishna. So it's tough, yeah. But Krishna consciousness. Prabhuji?
Can I just add, Prabhu?
Yeah.
Like now we are very fortunate, like Prabhu, with we are online or we have some access to devotees. So like whenever there is a difficult situation, I feel we should get in touch with them. I usually don't talk about this. I think only Prabhu knows it. Prabhu, there was a
Mm.
time when, like I and Prabhu were not going to the temple for reasons. But Prabhu used to
Mm.
visit the temple on the way to the office every day except on a
Mm.
Sunday. I mean, I will
Mm.
not go into the intricacies of those things. And it's
Mm.
not good also to discuss it. And I was left, I had no Karmi friends, I had no darshan of the Lord. And slowly it got into the same wrap of going back to my Karmi world. And this
Mm.
continued. I was doing my chanting, and then the rest of it was like, chalo. And अपना घर का काम किया, go back
Mm.
to whatever.
Mm.
Prabhu, in those 2 years or 1 year, then I told him, I said, you don't go to the temple and I don't fit in here. And you feel most of us, if you want to go, we don't fit into that world. I mean, neither here. What do I do? Unfortunately or fortunately, those 1 or 2 years, Guru Maharaj ka bhi मेरे को association या दर्शन नहीं हुए. I didn't get in touch with them or whatever it is.
Mm.
And then
Mm.
Guru Maharaj came to Bangalore. And
Mm.
I just stood in front of him.
Mm.
Nothing, no words were exchanged. And
Yeah.
I felt like a child who was completely naked in front of his guru. I
Yeah.
didn't tell him what I did.
Mm.
That guilt, that
Yeah.
ice just melted. And
Yes.
I made a U-turn completely.
Very
Today also,
nice.
it's very difficult for me even today in the temple with no friends, no this thing. But know what I do? Prabhu
Mm.
doesn't come out. मेरे को कोई यात्रा में जाना है, चली जाती हूँ. उधर जाना है,
Mm.
चली जाती हूँ. Not that I'm a good devotee, but the
Mm.
realization is there that this is the path. You have to cling. There is going to be
Very
there is
nice.
going to be torture. There's going to be slips, and I did slip. And I did go back to my Karmi world. It was very, and a slip is very easy. The slide down is very easy. Take it
Yeah.
from me. Don't leave the dhoti of Narayan Prabhu. Catch on to
don't
it.
leave, don't
And
leave the
I'm
dhoti
telling
of
you,
Srila
Prabhu,
Prabhupada.
it's very nice when you have some. See, I've never spoken. I mean, apart from Jagannath Prabhu, whom I used to sometimes share some of my, like, I mean, I've never opened up. Over here, I don't know why I take the opportunity very openly talk. Maybe it's, I don't know, I feel comfortable with you or what it is, I don't. Because I mean, I fight it out with my Prabhu, ye bhi aise, you do this. But my realization is, Prabhu, even if you slip, please come down, come to Narayan Prabhu or to somebody whom you can talk, or stand and talk to your Guru Maharaj.
Yeah.
Take the U-turn, melt down like the ice. There is
Right.
no harm in falling down. There is
Right.
absolutely no harm.
Thank you,
Pick up.
Mother.
Thank you.
And
It's
that
my
was
this is my
that
realization. I don't know how
amazing.
many of you all have it or did not do it, but I did fall.
No, but that thing was very, very powerful. I have like goosebumps when I heard that. Standing in front of Guru, right? I mean, it's this is exactly what we are expected. Like, see, we have to have that kind of trust on Guru, that he's there, right? And irrespective of where we are, we should not desist from from going. Like Mataji said, talk. Right. And I see, I keep telling devotees saying that, see, some whatever my service is, Krishna has given my service, Guru and Krishna, and I'm trying to do something. And I keep telling devotees saying, if you have a challenge, come and talk. But I see that most devotees don't do that. They don't come and talk. And it's, I feel very, I keep telling devotees who come and talk, I tell them, saying that, see, I didn't have anybody. I tried so much to get somebody, who could guide me, help me. But Krishna had other plans. Somehow I mean, I went and spoke to big devotees, right? But I couldn't, I couldn't get that shelter I was looking for. Right. And somehow, at least if there is somebody in our life whom we can go to, we should go. We should trust and go, right? Of course, if the person is not trustworthy, then it's not required, right? But sometimes I see that devotees want to just deal with their own life situations themselves. It's not possible. It's not possible. I mean, in my life, life situations, I dealt with just depending on Prabhupada and mercy of my Guru Maharaj. But Prabhupada, because I wanted philosophy, I wanted to understand how should I do, what should I do, what is right, what is wrong. And I simply depended on Prabhupada's books, Veda based. That's all was my whole this one, right? And even today, if I get stuck somewhere, I just go into Prabhupada's books. That's all. Right? But those who cannot do that, you have to take in help from others, right? But there's no point in just saying, no, I'm going to just remain what I am. Because the other person deserves it. This is what I don't want us to do. It's not going to help us. We're going to fall down. And, we might not be as fortunate as Sumatra Mataji to be going and standing in front of Guru Maharaj and taking a U-turn, right? We may not be. And then what will happen to us? Right? So please understand, this is very, very precious. It's more precious than anything material. And unfortunately, I see devotees stuck on the material platform. So which means that we don't want Krishna. What can we do? Mm. Krishna has given mercy. So we have to use that mercy.
Prabhu, can I say something? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Just like you said, you went to many exalted devotees. I tried talking to many. I mean, oh Mataji, you're so exalted. Oh Mataji, you're so like this. Are Baba, I'm not come here to hear my glories or your glories. I've come here with the problem, and it's I don't want to be on that pedestal. I want to come. Meri sadhana अच्छा नहीं. I'm asking for help.
Yeah.
Oh, Mataji, chodo na, Mataji. Oh, you're doing. That's not it, Prabhu. Till when you need to go to a person who can understand you, who
Yeah.
can really, guide you at that time.
Right.
And stop that glorification. There is no glorification, Prabhu. And
Yeah.
I know what my sadhana is. Nobody can get. When you're talking to a person, come down to his level. Come down and talk to him and then try to understand why that problem has come, which none of us try to do. And Prabhu, and when your mind is upset or you're telling me read the Prabhupada's book, that is the first thing which goes. Prabhupada का book चला जाता है, सब चला जाता है. You are so rebellious. The only person who can help that time is somebody whom you can trust, a good friend or a good, somebody who come to a person, come and talk to a person who can help you out.
Yeah. Thank you,
And
Mataji.
we are so fortunate now. We've got pockets of devotees, and I'm sure each Mataji or Prabhuji has some shoulder where that person can talk, find out what it is. In my case, I have now. I'm very reactive. I am a little short tempered. Uncle is cool, so I suppose sometimes he balances, but I don't listen to him. So Prabhu, so there, I'm talking on a very open platform,
Yeah.
and Prabhu,
Yeah. Thank you,
Prabhu,
Mataji.
like no, and especially with you, I don't know why I have that. I take it as a comfort level. I don't know how you feel about me, but
No.
I do spill beans with you.
Jai.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Mataji. Hare Krishna. Okay. Yeah.
I missed Anadi Prabhu because I used to do that with him. Really have fights with him. नहीं ऐसे क्या हो गया? So thank you,
He
Prabhu.
is amazing devotee. Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you. No, you stepped in.
Mhm.
Like I do have that comfort level. Thank you. Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Okay. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So anything else? Otherwise, we can hope it was helpful.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I have, like, I sometimes feel like you previously saying, whenever you have some problem or something, you can beg to Krishna, or you can
Yeah.
um, ask to Krishna. But I personally feel it is comfortable and better to talk with devotees because you are getting response back. But I personally feel when I tried talking to Krishna, but I don't get that response, then I'll not have so much interest in that. I feel that.
Okay. 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 So we have to understand. I didn't tell so much about talking to Krishna as much as praying for mercy. Right. I said every morning when I'm chanting, I'm begging for mercy. See, we are not at the platform to talk to Krishna. Right. I mean, talking to Krishna is a very different level of maturity in Krishna consciousness. Begging for mercy is something that everybody has to do. Right. So when we do something wrong, and we know that it is wrong, it's not that we are not looking for jnana. We are looking for strength to apply that in our life. And then we have to beg for mercy. Right. And we are trying, which is in Damodar Lila, we understand, right? So one part is our effort. So we are trying, but that effort is not good enough. Then what do you do? You're not looking for new knowledge. You're just looking for strength that you lack to implement. And then there's nobody else to turn to. Guru and Krishna, their mercy, that's all. There's nothing else. And you have to beg for it. It's not going to just come like that. When you beg for it, then Krishna is so merciful. Krishna is so loving towards his devotees. He will never let them down. He will never let them fall. It might look like we are slipping, but if we are really sincere, if we don't want to slip, Krishna will not let us fall. If we want to slip, then that is our prerogative, our desire. So it's not about talking to Krishna, it's about begging for mercy from Krishna. That's the point I was making. Okay, anything else? Okay, thank you all for joining. Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Vancha Kalpataru Kripa Sindhu Bhagavacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha, Ananta Koti Vaishnavanda ki jai, Samaveta Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Hare Krishna.